Grace, I need your help. Okay, I'm speaking for the South Coast region, Christy Fox's region, all right? She is probably going to be my boss one of these days, so I really want to do a good job, okay? And I feel like I need to dress the part, so can you help me pick out my outfit?
What do you think about that, Gunnar? Okay, suggest her.
What if I wore a jersey? You know, I'm 50, but I can still relate to the kids, right? All right, maybe if I go with the casual. We're kind of at a beach, it's South Coast. Everything's just chill. Shaka.
You look ridiculous. Hello.
What if I did it as a walk-on character? Jimbo Billy Bob. Whoa there, mayonnaise!
You bet Shane. You know what's good for you.
Okay, last one, Grace. The theme of the message is back to the basics. What if I just go with the classic Young Life tee?
I love it. Perfect. Yeah.
Thank you, Grace, and thank you, Christy and South Coast Region, for inviting me into your virtual retreat. I'm so excited to get to talk to you about back to the basics and how that might impact our ministry in this crazy time. We need God's best, and kids need His best right now. And that starts with prayer. You know, Young Life started with a prayer. This was the prayer. I don't know what I can do, but I pray someone will rescue these kids. They don't know where they're going. They're just wandering back and forth. And going where? Nobody knows. And the answer to her prayer was a man named Jim Rayburn, who had a revolutionary pastor who said, we'll take care of the people here. We'll take care of the kids that come to church. You figure out how to go and reach kids that will never darken the door of a church. And after a lot of experimentation, Young Life was born. And it's been said that the best Young Life is yet to be done. And we believe that's true, and we believe that you are part of what will make that happen. But what does it mean to go back to the basics of Young Life? Over the last few years, our region has made an effort to have a common language around what it actually means to live out this calling. One of our staff made this ministry pyramid, and it reflects how we build towards reaching kids with the good news of Jesus Christ. It starts with Christ. That may seem really obvious, but I want to challenge us to pause and think for a minute. A year ago, I got to speak at my daughter's grade school. And I asked the question, what is the greatest word in the English language? Immediately I heard pizza, then football. I also heard friend, fun, hope, and love. But then I said the greatest word in the English language is this word, with. With. You see, if you think about the story of the prodigal son, the younger son and the older son had the same problem. The younger son wanted something from his father, and he got it, and he took it. And even when he had come to his senses, what he hoped for was just 3 square meals and a roof over his head. And what he got was everything. Restoration into his father's family. And the older son, who sat outside the party with his arms crossed, indignant that the father would welcome the young son back with the fatted calf, had worked for his father in the hopes of earning something. We get caught in wanting something, this transactional relationship with God. We want something from Him. We think if we do the right things for Him, we'll get what we need or what we want. when what we need and what we really desire is to be with him? Is that the heart of Young Life? A group of people filled with this desire to be with the Father, who recognize the Father is with us even at our worst, even with our mixed motives. In this season, are you making room? Are we making room to be with him? That's the definition of solitude, to be with God and God alone. And it makes all the difference. It is the bedrock, the foundation. Jesus and us with him with us. And out of solitude, out of being with Jesus, flows being with other people in community. We take this beloved nature as sons and daughters of the King, and we want to share it with other people and remind them of who they are and be reminded. But if we don't start with solitude, we will expect the community to do that for us. We'll expect the community to validate us, to show us our worth. And when the community inevitably lets us down, we will leave. We have to get our worth and our identity as beloved sons and daughters of the King. And if you don't believe me, let this testimony speak for itself.
Do I need to be liked? Absolutely not. I like to be liked. I enjoy being liked. I have to be liked. But it's not like this compulsive need to be liked, like my need to be praised.
There are two practices that are essential to any community. The first is forgiveness. Henry Nouwen says it like this: I know you love me, but you don't have to love me unconditionally, because no human can do that. It's this practice of continually forgiving people when they don't love us fully like God does, and asking for forgiveness when we don't love people fully like God does. And it's easier said than done, but it is essential. And then once we're forgiving people, we can actually celebrate the reflection of God's love that we see in them. We can celebrate what they bring to the table and what they give to us. Forgiveness and celebration are essential parts of building a community. Do a little assessment on your team. How are we doing at that? Do we talk around people? Do we celebrate when somebody does something well or they accomplish something? Or they even give us the little love they have to give? Are we celebrating that? Or are our expectations of our community unrealistic? So we're over 8 minutes in, and we haven't talked about being with kids at all, because it's that essential that we build the right foundation. And once we know we're beloved, and once we're practicing real community, now we have something to offer people. Now we have something to invite them into. And so we go. It is the distinctive of Young Life, that we go. It's what makes us who we are. So we have to go. We have to walk in wisdom towards those who are without. We have to practice going to where kids are, being in their world. And when we go, knowing we're beloved, and we go out of community, or even better, with our community, we are the fragrance of Christ. All our job is to trust and be present. Now, that is difficult today. And here's the conversation we're having in our region. Be smart and be bold. Be smart and be bold. If you are someone who takes care of a 94-year-old grandmother, you're probably not going to be living in community right now. You're probably not going to be with kids. But can you be on their social media? Can you text? Can you walk to school by yourself and pray? Yes. Be smart. Make sure that parents know what you're doing. Don't post large pool parties on social media. Be smart. Kids are gathering together. Are there ways that we can enter into their world still, even though they're not in school, even though there's these gathering restrictions? Be smart and be bold. Go. Figure it out. Do you remember when you were in high school and you were attracted to that one person and you figured out like where they went for lunch and where they had time in their passing period and where they were going to be, their schedule, where they worked, kind of when it was slow? We figured it out because we wanted to run into them on accident and see them. Contact work, that's what we do. We figure it out. Be smart and be bold. The next layer for us is campaigners. A lot of people would say you go contact work to club, but for us, campaigners are our friends who are walking alongside us, who spend every day, all day at the school. We're first teaching them about community, what it looks like to live with forgiveness and celebration of each other's gifts. We peel back the curtain and talk to them about what is campaigners, what is club, how do you pray, why do you pray, how do you be a friend, what does that look like? We're not asking them just to go and bring their friends to an event. We're talking to them about living out this community that lives out of this solitude with Jesus and inviting them on this journey with us to see their campus transformed. We've taken this opportunity because we're not in school. We don't have the traditional contact work. We can't gather a big club. And we're going to focus on campaigners, everyone doing the same thing in our region. We're talking about what does it look like to build a community and invite kids to participate in the kingdom. We think it's a great opportunity. We don't know how it's going to go. But for those of you, campaigners mean so many different things. Here's a couple things I would give you. If you're like, well, how do I teach campaigners? What's helpful? I love the Jesus Storybook Bible because every story whispers his name. It all points to Jesus. And if you haven't spent any time looking at the Bible Project, free online tools, even just for your own knowledge of how the Bible all fits together to tell the story of the coming King, his rescue of us, and his invitation to participate in his kingdom. Those are two great resources to do that. But don't give up meeting together. That includes the high school kids. Again, you have to be smart, but gather however you can. Talk about Jesus. Share a meal if you can. Peel back the curtain on what exactly we're doing in Young Life, but bigger than that, what exactly Jesus is up to in bringing his kingdom rule here on earth. Finally, I'll say two things about our gospel proclamation. We have this saying in Young Life, it's a sin to bore a kid with the gospel. We want to speak in terms they understand. We know this. And so we've leaned on great clubs, great camps to share the gospel. And those things have been stripped away from us. And so it's upon us to share the good news of Jesus Christ with kids in terms that they can understand. Are you praying for opportunities to share the good news? Are you looking for ways to ask questions about what they believe about God and interject the most amazing love story of all time? Are you praying that way, that the Lord would give you opportunity? There was a time in Young Life we had no camps. We didn't have these amazing clubs. But we had us. And when you go, do you realize you bring with you something that was hidden for generations and now is revealed? And it's a crazy idea. Christ in you, the hope of glory. You have everything you need. Be smart. Be bold. And I'll say this. When schools go back and we're allowed to meet in larger gatherings, we're telling our staff, do not have club the next week. We want you to get on that campus. We want you to know 100 kids or 10% of the school or whatever you decide. But don't just jump back into a program. Be in their world first. And I hope that means that all of us have the opportunity to talk about who Jesus is and what he did for us, to rescue us, and to give us life to the full, a life of meaning and purpose and hope and joy and love. Go, be bold, be together. God bless you. So that's it from the Crawford Haven. We're so thankful to be a part of your virtual retreat. And we hope you have an amazing day. Love you. Thanks for doing what you do.
Come on, Mustard.